Hello there, welcome back. Thanks for being here. So, in our last lecture, we have understood how to record a particular API and then store that stub and keep it in our resource folder. And we also understood that was the scenario which would be used most likely when we don't have access to one of the downstream or one of the third party API that often in our test environments. We just record once and we keep that stub in our local and we simulate our test. Now, in this lecture, let's understand the proxying mechanism. This lecture we have already seen, we have achieved this uh, through Postman, but let us just do it programmatically because when we wanted to deal with pure automation, so we have to achieve these things also programmatically and without having to touch your code base. So all these stuff should be coming up and running and your test cases should pass, and then you can confirm that your test scripts are ready to be executed against the actual environment. So once the developer gives you APIs, you will just point your scripts to that environment and you make sure your test goes green. So the proxying is a mechanism we already know that which intercepts your request. It is a bridge or it is an intermediate person which is there between the client and the actual host or a server. Even when we are working in a corporate network, we tend to see we have a proxy setup. So wherein the proxy receives the request, and if it has uh, it just checks for the whitelisting rules. If at all that particular website can be reached from the client or from the network, it just takes that request to the host. So the host will actually understand the request is initiated by the proxy, because proxy does a kind of masking as well. It does not really show who is the client is. So the proxy will receive the request and it transforms back. And it also serves the purpose of accounting. So how many times you have done a particular transaction, how many times you're trying to reach a particular site and all that. So in this particular lecture, let us understand how this interception of a API request would help us. Say for example, we have a host API and we have an endpoint, and in order to serve the response, in order to get the response, we need to hit that particular endpoint which is hosted in a specific host. But when you are creating a stub, your wiremark would likely be running in your local. So how do you actually simulate this scenario? Because if at all I'm hitting the actual API, so I don't need to rely on wiremark at all. But your wiremark instance is on local, but still you wanted to hear from some website, so or some API. In that case, what happens is that wiremark will take the request and it will just route your request to the respected host. So that way you listen the actual response. Let me just give you an example of it. So I have taken a basic API request, so request.in, and the endpoint is API/users. So this API should get me some response related to the user. It has some fields related to each and every record. And now in order to have this response, what is currently shown on my screen, I should ideally be using this particular host, https://request response.in. This is my host URL and the endpoint is API/users. But thanks to proxy, thanks to wiremark, with the help of this facilitation, what happens is that when I am writing my test, I will just hit to my wiremark server. My wiremark stub will receive this request and then it will route to this particular website. So which means if you know that which URL to be proxied, you need not point that URL in your test case. So let's see how this can be implemented practically. Let me just get to the Eclipse and create a class file, and let me call this as a proxy and finish this thing. And I think let's just import the particular package so that we can really get started, so that all methods would be listed. So let me have this statement imported. Let me just copy it here. So now what ideally I should be doing is that I should create a stub. So let me have a method to create a stub, public void. So create stub is my method. and inside this method I'll just call stop for is the method, because we all know that these are static methods, so that is the reason we have just imported this particular package statically. And let us just think that we are going to imitate this API. It is a basic GET request. Even if you come back and see the actual implementation, so this is a GET call. So let me just put GET and URL equals to the endpoint. We already know that it is /API/users. So when this particular request occurs, so we tend to get a response, will return a response with proxied from, because we don't design a stub. So in previous lecture what we have done is that we have set the conditions. It will return this body message, it will return this status code, it will return this header, but now we don't have control on the response body because it is being served by the another API. So what I need to do, as per the documentation, if you go to the WireMock proxying documentation, so you just have to use a method called proxied from. So this proxied from method will take the actual host that you are trying to hit, that you are trying to listen to. So in this case, this would be my actual host. So I would just pass on this value and I will just end this method. So this simple my stub is here. So I think we are missing one more brace here. Yeah, so this simple my stub is. So basically I'm just trying to imitate a GET call, so the API/users, and whenever my stub receives a matching request with this particular endpoint, the request will automatically be routed to this particular host name. So that's what the stub. So let's quickly write a test case for it. So public void test, and in this particular test let's call the rest assured, because we have been working with rest assured dot base URI. So this base URI, we already know that the WireMock would be running in our local host, and I would like to have that running in 8080 port number as well. So I will start in some time, and let us start with the basic given then BDD syntax so that the test case can be written. So given, let me print all the log messages. Let me print all the given log all when get what is the API that I'm trying to reach /API/users is my endpoint. So that's it. So let me just give control to L so that my response can be stored in a response object. So I would say response dot pretty print. So now we are done with the test as well. So ideally my test case is considering the local host to be the API host URL, and this is the API. So this particular thing would be reached to the WireMock server. WireMock will in turn route my request to this particular site. So let me just tag the test JUnit annotation so that I can have these things written. And also let me just start a WireMock server. So we know that we'll have a method to set up the infrastructure, public void setup, and I would call this as before, because before even the test case runs, this before annotation would be executed. So in this method I'll just have a WireMock server started. So let me create an object for WireMock server WM equals to new WireMock server, and I'll have this started in port number 8080 and wm.start. So I'll start this one, and also I'll just call this particular thing. I need to correct this one, and I'll also start my stub. I'll also call my stub so that my stub will get active as well. So now what happens is that, so before that, before even the script executes, my test case executes, it ensures that a wiremark port is being run and my stub is being called, and then my test case, once it is being hit to this localhost URL, my wiremark will just consider this request and this route to the actual API. So however we are hitting this localhost, we should still be listening to the same response that we ideally see when we are reaching the actual host. So let me just right click and run as JUnit test to see how the response looks like. So test case got passed. Let me just expand the console. I think there is some problem that yeah, so there is a slash here, so which means that it did not get the here, so I'll have to add slash in the stub as well. So let me just check one more time quickly if there are any other mistakes that I've committed to. So before is the annotation that we have given. So we are starting the wiremark server in port number 8080, and also we are starting the server and we are invoking the stub. So the stub is basically a get method and the endpoint is /API/users. I think that is how even the this method is written as well. So you can see that /API/users. Let me just remove this particular page and see. Yeah, so I think now the endpoint matched as well. So let me just right click and run as a JUnit test. Now it should run and should just get the response from that particular API. So you can see that, so I was served the same response. So what I ideally get when I hit that particular host API, but if you see my test case URL is this one. So the request URL is localhost colon 8080, but the response definition, if you actually observe, this is the response definition that we have received from the server. So Wiremarks is actually routing our request to that particular API. So this is how it is intercepting your call, and this is how you have been proxied. So this is one of the good features that Wiremark ever offers. So I think having aware of these things is always essential, because when you actually start working in a microservice architecture applications, when you start testing these things, because that testing is entirely shifted towards left, so you have to be ready with writing or simulating all these scenarios. So I hope you have enjoyed this new learning, and I really appreciate you listening me throughout. So thank you so much, guys. Please do subscribe to this channel and share it with your friends as well. So if you think other may get benefit out of it. So thank you so much, guys. So you have a great rest of today.